So as we jump into the approach of this system, we're going to walk through a series of questions with the buy owner or the expired. That these questions are going to be very inviting. They're going to have the sellers really open up. By the way, we're thinking sellers the whole time we're going through this process. When, as lenders, we think buyers, buyers, buyers. But ask anybody that runs a real estate company, what are they thinking? Buyers or sellers? They're thinking sellers. And all this time that lenders have been chasing agents, they're thinking we need more buyers and buyers, and buyers, and the lenders, the realtors are thinking sellers, sellers, sellers. So as lenders, let's think sellers. We'll get our buyers. There's no worry there. We'll get our buyers. But help us, the real estate industry, get these listings. So in the process of getting listings for realtors, we have to go through a series of questions that I call more questions. How to ask more questions? Well, more is an acronym. To create a more score with anybody we're interviewing or trying to get business from. More stands for motivation, objectivity, readiness to change, and expectations of you. One more time. More. The questions that we ask people have to expose people's motivation. And you'll see in the questions that I've had for the script here, because if they're not motivated and they're not objective, we should probably pass on that lead. There's a song from the 1970s that goes something like this. It's sad to belong to someone else when the right one comes along. Well, that's true in some relationships, but it's also true when it comes to business and our customers, especially when we take these customers in our industry on a contingency basis. There's no guarantee. We'd better be good at screening people and sifting the good away from the bad. Too often we see real estate agents that they're hanging on to the bad leads, but they have a lead. And they hang on to that lead for months and months and months. Well, the objective is, with the more questions, is to screen and filter those out. Not just you, the lender, but the realtor. Some of the national brands that are in this metropolitan city right now are still selling. There's a particular office I'll give you an example of, without talking about the brand. They closed $201 million in listing business in a 12-month period of time, which means they probably closed about $200 million in buyer business as well. That's awesome. But what's interesting is, with 4.5% interest rates at the time of this video, with low inventory, houses flying off the market, they lost $204 million. Remember, they closed 201, but lost $204 million. So what we have is a problem with communication. And communication is identifying, again, getting more questions out there. And motivation to move. Our agents taking listings where the sellers aren't motivated enough. When the seller's not motivated enough, and you as a lender pre-screen that buyer, only to find out that the agent failed to sell that property because they didn't ask the right questions. And then here you pre-approve the buyer, or you refer them the listing so you can get the buyer to do a loan in the future. But why are agents failing with their listings? I thought everything's selling. We have a great marketing plan. Really, it's a failure in communication, a failure to sift out the bad from the good. Even though they get somebody listed, how do you get them to adjust their price? It's a huge reason real estate agents are not moving their inventory. By the way, one of the largest offices in St. Louis right now, their days in the market, is about 65, 66 if the property does not need a price reduction. If it needs a price reduction, the largest, one of the biggest offices, it's about 163 days. Again, no price reduction, it's about 2 months. If you need one or more, it's about a half a year. Quite a bit longer for your buyer to be tied up with that real estate agent. So the more score, the more questions we're going to walk through. We're really going to isolate people and help us sift out, based on motivation, objectivity in the marketplace, what their opinions are about price, especially sellers, their objectivity, are they to price it where they want it to be or where they need it to be, not where it's supposed to be. And then readiness to change. The questions I have designed here are trying to figure out what our customer or client, what's their readiness to change? If their readiness to change is no way, I'm never going to do this, then we probably should sift them away. And then lastly, expectations of you. So we're going to walk through how to identify more information. All right, let's get started.